All right, ladies and gents, in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can write $10,000 in one single week without spending any extra money on leads. Now, basically, this is a video from one of our internal trainings, one of our programs that we offer to our clients. I wanted to release it and give it out to you guys because I've had a lot of people that we've talked to that have, maybe struggled to come up with cash to invest in themselves, invest in leads, invest in programs like ours. And so I think this will be super helpful for people that are in a tight cash flow situation to raise some quick, easy cash so that they can get out of a, tough situation, start buying leads to basically kickstart that cycle again of them making money, or invest in a program like ours. So this is going to be part of a 3-part series. The first one is going to be the first step of what we call the fast cash play. The second one is going to be the second step, and obviously the third one will be the third step. So without any further ado, I will basically let you guys go through this video. Feel free to comment any questions that you guys have. This video is for you and to help you see success without spending any money on leads. So comment down below any questions, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. See ya. All right, let's talk about the fast cash play. So we're going to start off with why would you even do the fast cash play? What's the point? And we're going to talk about what it actually is. So due to the nature of the insurance business, balancing cash flow can be one of the trickiest things to do. So part of this comes down to whenever you write a policy, it sometimes takes weeks just for you to get paid. Whether that's because of post-dating it, the company taking a while to approve it, and some companies just take longer to pay. So whenever you write a policy, you're also only getting paid on a 9-month advance. So most of the time you're only getting paid 75% of that total commission. So because of this, it's crucial to have cash reserves as an insurance agent. If anything goes wrong, like a string of chargebacks, or maybe you fall into a cold streak or get sick or something, you need to have a cushion to be able to fall back on. So this brings me to the fast cash play. So this is originally a concept from Alex Hormozy's Gym Launch. This is where we got it from. And Gym Launch's fast cash play is basically for a gym owner to call up their current clients and try to get them to pay an entire year in full. So as you guys know, if any of you guys go to the gym, a gym is a month-to-month thing you pay. So they'll basically be calling people up that are paying month-to-month and try to convince them to pay for a whole year in full, right? Sounds a little bit tough, but that's what their fast cash play was. So what this would do is allow people to collect some capital to invest back into ads and other expenses that you have as a gym. Obviously, they're a brick and mortar business. We are not, so they have a lot more expenses that they have to have. But as an insurance agent, it does not hurt at all to have extra cash. Don't worry, we're not going to make you call all of your clients and try to get them to pay you a full year worth of premium because this wouldn't even make sense because you already get paid in advance. So there's no reason you would do that. So what is the fast cash play for insurance? Well, the fast cash play for life insurance is a 3-step process that allows us to tap into free resources that we already have available. This allows us to make an infinite return, meaning zero cost. Anything we make on top of it is an infinite return, because anything divided by zero is infinity or undefined. I don't know. I didn't go to college. So there's 3 steps: the low-hanging fruit, the referral reservoir, and the network effect. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into low-hanging fruit, and then I'll do the other 2 in separate videos. So step 1, low-hanging fruit. So the reason that this is called low-hanging fruit is because you're going to go after the low-hanging fruit in your pipeline, i.e. people who have already said yes. So there's 2 types of people that have already said yes. We have declined applications. So they already said yes, you signed them up, and then they got declined from the insurance company. That's 1. And then 2 is lapsed payments. So these are people that have already agreed to buy insurance. They've already signed up for a policy. Maybe they've even made a couple of payments, or maybe their first payment lapsed. But basically, for one reason or another, their payment did not go through. So let's start with declined applications. There are 2 main reasons for declined applications. Number 1 is an underwriting issue, which is of the fault of the agent, right? And then number 2 is missing information, which also oftentimes means that the client is hiding something from you, and that is typically the fault of the client. So underwriting issue is fault of the agent. Missing information is the fault of the client. So for underwriting issues, there is a stupidly easy fix that 90% of agents don't use, and it is called a quoting tool. I have no referral with insurance toolkits, but from what I've heard and from what I've seen and used myself, Insurance Toolkits is a great option for this. You literally just plug in their height, weight, medical conditions, their medicines they take, history, all that, and it'll tell you what company is going to offer the best rate and what companies will approve them. So solve all your underwriting problems. Just use that. Simple. Done. So all you need to do is go run back through what medicines they take and their medical history. And then, like I said, the quoting engine will show you which carriers will be approved on. Now, that's for an underwriting issue, right? We just solved the underwriting issue. Just use a quoter. Number 2 is missing information. So there's 2 reasons a client wouldn't tell you something on an application. Number 1, they are lying to you. Pretty kind of like, that's not your fault. The second one is kind of your fault. But the way you overcome that they're lying to you is there's usually a reason, right? They're lying to you because they think that they're going to benefit from lying to you. So you just need to explain that there is no benefit to lie to you, and then they won't lie to you. So you need to make it clear that your job is to match them with the best company they can qualify for, right? You don't care about their medical history. You're just trying to match them with the best company for them. If they lie to you, even if they get accepted, which they more than likely won't, obviously they didn't because they're a declined application, but even if they do get accepted going forward, if they lied and then the insurance company finds out when they die, they won't even pay the claim. So all of the money that they paid in will have been for nothing. So just explain that to them. That will make just about every single person cut through the bullshit. There won't be any lies. They'll just tell you what's going on. Number 2 for missing information is you didn't ask all the right questions. So we recommend asking the following questions. History of heart problems. This is like heart attacks, stents, strokes, heart surgery, anything like that. Just go deep, right? Cancer. If they had cancer, if so, how recent? Breathing issues. You're asking for things like COPD, asthma, an oxygen tank, inhalers. Obviously, if you're doing this in home, which none of you guys are because you wouldn't be in this program if you were, but if you're doing it at home, you can see, okay, you have an oxygen tank right in front of you. But sometimes people will tell you like they're not on oxygen and they're literally on the phone with you, like with the thing in their nose. So that's oftentimes an issue. But yeah, those are the questions to ask for breathing issues, COPD, asthma, oxygen taker, inhalers. People will oftentimes get like very loose when they talk about asthma or inhalers. Like they'll have an inhaler that their doctor prescribed them, and then just because they don't use it, they won't mention it. So sometimes you have to dig a little deeper here to figure out the issue. The next thing is diabetes. So diabetes is usually fine as long as they don't take gabapentin or any other nerve blocker. So if they take gabapentin, even if it wasn't for diabetes, usually that's going to be a knockout for a lot of companies. And you'll need to go with something like Royal Neighbors or I believe Prosperity as well. Then you're just going to ask for any other health conditions, medical conditions, medicines, anything that they've had. You can mention like bipolar, depression, because these are some things that can cause issues. DUIs, felonies, anything like that. Those are questions that usually don't come up. So again, that's bipolar, depression, felonies, DUIs, anything like that that you don't typically ask about. If they're getting declined, these are the things you want to bring up. The next one is lapsed payments. So we got declined applications. We just handled all that. That's how you overcome those and get those people back in the books. And the next one is going to be lapsed payments. So there's only 7 reasons for a chargeback. Affordability, they can't afford it. Banking error, charged on the wrong day or their bank declined it, whatever. They found a better policy or a better price. They were tricked by another agent or salesperson. Lack of understanding, like of the product or of the policy. Family influence, so their kid or someone tell them, don't buy this, don't pay for this. And then number 7 is lack of perceived value. So do they not perceive it to be valuable? So for this play, we are only focusing on people that still want the coverage, but for one reason or another, they couldn't make the payment, right? We are not trying to resell people on why they need insurance. This is a fast cash play. So we're trying to get cash fast. I don't want you to go back and, chase people that are already gone, right? We're not chasing people that change their mind and decide they don't want it, whatever. Let them go. There's more people out there that do. So we're only going after low-hanging fruit. That's why this step is literally called low-hanging fruit. So we're only going to focus on people that charged back for 3 reasons. 1, affordability. So they couldn't afford it. You're going to requote them with a lower price that will fit into their budget. Number 2 is a banking error. So this is like
their Social Security comes on the 3rd, but it was charged on the 2nd or whatever, or charged on the 15th and they already spent all the money, right? For banking error, you're going to check to make sure that the date their policy is drafting is actually the best day for them. So sometimes like you'll just have a payment lapse, and this happens all the time, and people still want the coverage. You just have to get them back on the books. So double check, make sure the day that their policy is drafting is actually the best day for them, and then have them set a reminder in their phone 3 days before the payment is supposed to be drafted so that they don't forget to have the money in their account. Do this while you're on the phone with them. Otherwise, they will never do it. So you literally just tell them, go into your phone, set a reminder 3 days before the draft date every month to make sure that the payment is in there. Because obviously this life insurance thing is important to you. That's why you're talking to me. And I want to make sure that we're able to keep this policy in place for you. Because again, if you miss one payment and the policy lapses, all the money you paid in is gone. So that's one thing to do for banking error. And then also try to have them make the first payment on the spot. So if they're behind on 2 payments, get them to make the 2 payments over the phone. And the last one is tricked by another agent or salesperson. So basically someone comes behind you and replaces the policy, but it's not actually the best thing for them. If you wrote a shitty policy and then someone comes behind you and replaces it with something better, don't replace it. You just screwed up. You gotta own your mistake. But if it's actually they were tricked or got sold something that's not the best for them, what you're going to do is do a free policy review and make sure that the new policy they have is actually better for them. If it is, don't replace it. If it's not, explain the situation and switch them back. The reason that you can do this and the reason it works is because you have to be honest. So you need to tell them, if this is a better policy for you, I will tell you to keep it. And if it is, tell them to keep it. Otherwise, your word means nothing when you tell them to switch, because if you tell them to switch every time, even when the new one is better, there's no way they can trust your word. So to find these people, the lapse payments, declined applications, most people never call these people back. They just kind of let them fall through the cracks, but you're doing the fast cash play. So we're going to get you some infinite returns and you're going to call these people. So to find them, you're going to go through your carrier portals and email, right? Usually your carriers will send you an email whenever there's a lapse payment or declined application. You're just going to basically search for keywords, decline, lapse, and then search for emails from all the carriers you write and make a copy of this sheet right here. It's literally linked in the fast cash play, which is going to be under this video. And so you just click this. It'll automatically make a copy. I'll just do it so you guys can see. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting their first name, their last name, their phone number, the company, not the company that the person works at, because most of these people are retired, but you're going to put the company that their insurance company, the carrier, obviously. The coverage amount, the monthly premium, whether it's term or final expense, and then whether it's a lapse or declined application. Then you're going to, I just covered this part, add all the people to the spreadsheet above, and then call back through them and rewrite the clients based off of their situation. So basically, you're just going to call them up, whatever their situation was, a lapse or decline. Hey, Miss Jones, I was just calling you because we got the answer back from the insurance company. Turns out you got declined. Don't worry, I have a couple other options up my sleeve. And then you go straight into it, right? Or if it was a lapse payment, banking error, this or that. Hey, Miss Jones, I got an email that there was something that happened with your policy. Obviously, since we spoke, I understand that you really value this kind of stuff and that this is still important to you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is still important to you, right? Yeah, of course, blah, blah, blah. Okay, perfect. So yeah, all I'm going to do is just run through a couple things to get you back on the books, make sure that you're able to have that insurance in case something does happen to you. Your beneficiary is not going to, you guys get it, right? You're just calling through and going through the script, getting them back on the books. Very, very simple, very self-explanatory. If you guys do have any questions with this, just message us in your Slack channel and we'll be sure to help you out. But that right there, that is step 1, low-hanging fruit. Go ahead and execute this step. And then once you are finished, we can move on to the referral reservoir, right? Now, this first step, this should take about 1 full day. Spend a couple hours, an hour or 2, just going through your email, going through your carrier portals and adding people to this sheet. And then once you've added everyone, call through them, triple dial them. They're still leads in a way. You do have to get them back on the phone. And with these, you can leave a voicemail. right? Let them know who you are, let them know why you're calling, and just get them back on the phone, get them rewritten. Spend about a day on this. I don't want you to spend like a whole week doing this. But if you set a meeting with someone and it's a few days out, that's totally fine. But try to just spend about a day on this and then move on to the next step.